In this video, I'm going to tell you one out-of-body experience that I had, which was very frightening because I met an entity that had very strange energy and had shape-shifting abilities. But I want to share with you the context because that will let you understand what I saw, what I had to do, why that consciousness was there because I was in a hotel. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you tips on how you can handle frightening encounters in your out-of-body experiences. Hello, I am right now in California, and I just remembered that one of the last times that I was here, I went to visit the Death Valley, and I had a very interesting experience. A bit frightening, or it would be very frightening for some people, but I want to tell you the details of this story. Sometimes I hear people saying that, well, if you have experience with the out-of-body experience, you will never be afraid outside the body. Well, it depends, because sometimes we can see some things that they are strange. And I'm going to tell you one of the possibilities of a strange thing. And even for someone with a lot of experience, we may sometimes have to deal with challenging things. Before jumping into the story, let me tell you that if you enjoy this video, if it's useful and learn something, please give me a thumbs up. That will be very helpful. I am Nancy Trivelato. I study about the multidimensional reality, meaning how the physical reality we live, this physical world, is intertwined with subtle energies and the spiritual reality, the astral dimension, and how all of this works. I like to share this in a very down-to-earth manner. I hope you enjoy this video if you are here for the first time. If that is the case, please consider subscribing. And without further ado, let's go. Wagner and I had been wanting to visit Death Valley for some time then because we wanted to do energy exploration, to see different areas, what was there from the non-physical, astral point of view. And we chose a hotel that was not right in the middle, but just at the border of the main area there. And it was a good location, reasonably close, okay. When we arrived there, it was very late, like almost midnight, late. And lots of people were arriving late. I guess the same as us, they would be touring during the day and get to the hotel. When we arrived, I just got to the main entrance and I felt almost like a flow of energy, like a breath and atmosphere of some sort of uncomfortable, menacing energy. But immediately I disliked that. We had to get a queue to be able to do the check-in. So Wagner was in the queue, I entered. And after a quick stroll there to the lobby, I came and said, let's go to another hotel. Let's say we are not going to stay. We haven't checked in yet. And then he explains, we are in the middle of nowhere. We have nowhere to go, and much less at this hour in the night. So okay, we stayed. And I decided to explore a little bit more and look around. So the decoration was kind of based in the Old West theme. So there was like a saloon and a mannequin of like a host of a brothel. And different types of mannequins around, all strange looking. There was even one that had nothing to do with the theme, that was Napoleon. And I do not know why it was there. There were corners with antiques, but in each specific area, there was a different type of energy, like a different energy field, and it was very unsettling. It was not like one tone of the energy that you could describe clearly or be able to feel comfortable in it. But okay, it was late, there we stayed. Once our room was assigned, we went immediately to the room. We were super tired and hungry, and it was the first room to the left in the hall, the main hallway that was there. But we could look down further and see like a T-zone, as if there would be a hallway to the right, hallway to the left. I just assumed like in any other hotel, there were more rooms on this side, more rooms on the other side. Okay, we entered. We just snacked something quickly from what we had in the backpack, and we went to bed. As we usually do, we did just some quick energy work, quick inspection of the environment. I had been in hundreds of hotels all over the world. I had problem in only 2 different hotels. So it's very rare. Hotels tend to be a very neutral place because it's not anybody's place. People go there, stay for a while, and then a different type of energy comes, a person with a different intention, so it doesn't settle. And that is a good thing, because when we enter in a room, it's kind of neutral, let's say, and it accommodates to our own energy. And tired, expecting that, we just did a quick relaxation and energy work, and boom, directly to sleep. A couple of hours later, I had a projection. And the recollection of my projection starts when I was standing by the bed. The thing is that when I look across the room, which I could see very clearly the room, or the hotel room, I saw a figure, male looking like humanoid, he's a human figure, but looking strange. The guy was super thin, tall, the skin was kind of looking unhealthy, like without much color. So it was not a healthy looking, good looking person or entity there. I could feel a flow of energy, like an intention coming from this entity that was there, which was a little bit menacing, almost as if he was angry for some reason. And then I started observing, and he was pretty powerful, like, hey, I am the boss here. This is my place. And pretty much the energetic environment was under his control. Different than most of the hotel rooms, as I told you, that they are neutral. That one was not neutral. It was like I was in his house, in his place. And I'm sure many people go there, perhaps have some nightmares, perhaps don't even sense anything. The non-physical presence is there, and the entities, they are okay with it, but he was not okay. Seeing somebody lucid, conscious outside the body, just looking at him and recognizing his presence. So at that moment, he got even angrier and angrier. And the energy that he would send towards me was stronger. And I started observing and pushing his energy back, like I had to do something. So I started emitting energies. It was my right to be there, of course. And I at least wanted my space to be in peace, not invading anybody's space, but I did not want anyone to invade my space in a way, meaning my energy, my aura, and my husband was there sleeping by my side. So when the guy noticed that I could use energy, he got angrier. He started shape-shifting to intimidate me. He started like becoming even taller. And then he would change his face. And then he would change a little bit of his features. It was super strange. And that would show me that he knew what he was doing. He was a type of entity or a person in between lives that was conscious of the fact of being in between lives and knew what was going on at that moment. So then it started a little bit like an energetic battle. Of course, I felt a little bit uncomfortable. Who wouldn't? It's the same thing. You are in a supermarket and then you have somebody who is aggressive towards you, or you see some sort of commotion that gives you a feeling of something bad going on. It is like uncomfortable. It's more than uncomfortable, right? It's a negative energy. And if you are sensitive, you will feel the impact of that negative energy. So in the same way it happens here in the physical world, it will happen in the non-physical world. And I was absolutely conscious. I knew I was projected. I knew I was at the hotel. I knew what was going on. So I decided that I would handle all of that energetic challenge instead of just rushing to inside of my body and just continue receiving those terrible energies that were being sent towards me. As I continued emitting energies towards that shapeshifter, I noticed that would not penetrate his field. He was not being able to invade me too much either, but it was like an energetic battle that wouldn't turn to one side or to another. Why was that? Because he was in an area that he had power. As I explained before, he was in his energetic pocket, in which was very difficult to demote that. If I were in a dimension that would be further from the bedroom, I would just use velo. And I'm going to let you know later what is velo. I have videos explaining here, it's a technique. But I was right beside my body, right there in the bedroom. So I had to use some way of taking him out of that. So what did I do? I continued with that energetic exchange. I kept feeling his energy trying to make me scared. So by being sensitive, you feel the energy is like, I'm going to get you. Yes, that does not mean I am necessarily falling for that. That just means I am getting telepathically and by the information of his energy what he wants to convey. But it does not mean he can do that. But if you are in a projection like that, you have to remind yourself of this. So there I was. So I decided that to take him out of that situation and to break that, I would just go out of the room and make him follow me. And that's exactly what happened. So I just passed through the wall and I was in the hallway, in the main hallway. And the guy, no doubt, came behind me. That became a very strange experience because I would kind of levitate and float in the hallway as fast as I could because my astral body was still a bit dense, very close to the physical dimension, but he would do the same. He was a type of entity that was also very dense. So he would come, rah! But when I got to the end of the hallway, my plan in my mind was I will just turn to one of the sides, right or left in another hallway, and drag him as far as I can from this environment. And being out, I could then emit energies and reduce his power to get close to me. But as I got at the end of the hallway where the T-zone was, it was a dead end from both sides. There was no hallway there. So then I thought, am I in a different dimension now? Did I just jump maybe to a subtler dimension where I'm seeing something that is different from the physical world? What's going on? So it took me a while to make sense of that because I was super lucid and had very clear in my mind what I was doing. But by then, it was much easier for me to maintain my energy field. The entity started disconnecting, so had less power, less condition to keep sending energy. So naturally the connection broke. The guy stayed there somewhere out of the hotel. And I just, came back to my body and woke up immediately afterwards. When I woke up, of course, I worked a bit with energy to cleanse whatever residue was there and to be able to go back to sleep. I was pretty tired and I could fall back to sleep pretty quickly after this. When I woke up in the morning, everything was fine. I was okay, I was not tired, I didn't have any sort of lingering negative energy, the room felt normal, okay, everything seemed good. And I was very curious to know more of the hotel and especially to walk around the area where I had been in the projection the night before. So I went towards the hallway before getting breakfast. So I decided to do that first thing in the morning and I started walking towards the end of the hallway where I thought there was a hallway to the right and a hallway to the left because we would see the two entrances. But when I got there was no hallway. It was, both were like dead ends, just like a very short area, like a very short hallway on both, exactly like I had seen in my projection. And in my projection, I doubt my vision and I start thinking maybe I'm seeing a mix of two different dimensions here because I was so certain there were hallways with many rooms there. So it was super interesting. Another thing that I considered is that perhaps because the room where we were just the first one in the hallway, so very close to the lobby, in a way, the energy of the lobby still extended to that part. And the room, the bedroom, was part of that strange energy field that I had felt in the beginning. Maybe that's one of the reasons why that consciousness was so powerful there and was so mad at having people there. And maybe that's why, towards the end of the hallway, his power started diminishing. So his energies was no longer so well established as they were before. So the strategy I used worked very well. But then I started thinking, if I could feel that strange energy field from the moment I looked at the entrance door opening, and I saw that decoration, there was not a very good taste of decoration, was quite strange. All different pieces in strange looking Old West decayed was what prompted the type of energy to be there, or vice versa. If the energy field with that specific type of information was there before, and that is what somehow created the synchronicities or brought the intuition, inspiration to somebody build a hotel there. The thing is that the hotel was connected to a very important man. So he was very powerful there and had a piece of land very close by. So I started observing his energy and the way he behaved and how angry he was and how he would be able to shapeshift into a very tall being and look so intimidating with his shapeshifting and with his energy that I started thinking, this man is no peasant. He was one of the owners there. He was one of the important people in the old times when that was a very active area. This conclusion would be counterintuitive for many people because most people would assume if you see someone outside the body who is not well or who is angry for some reason, that they were peasants who suffered so much in their lives. We don't assume they were the ones who had power and could put his boots on top of a desk or table and have lots of whiskey, and there we were. So we cannot judge immediately what we see outside the body. We have to observe, we have to think about and know how to act according to each specific situation. Let me give you some tips of what you can do if you ever have a similar situation. So what happens if you have an experience like that? And I know many people are afraid of this sort of experience. The first thing you have to have in your mind is that to have out-of-body experiences that sometimes are spooked is natural, is normal. If you want to explore the world and the non-physical world, that's what it is, like the physical world. So have in your mind, there's nothing wrong. I'm not in danger. What is the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen is that you end up being too open to the energies of whoever is around or of the place you are at, and you end up getting some of those bad energies. You need to know a technique to cleanse yourself afterwards. But then, if you know how to behave and how to examine the experience while you are projected, that is the best. So first thing, reduce the drama in your mind, even for you to be able to leave the body. Otherwise, fear and the uncertainty of what's going to happen is going to stop your experience. So, okay, I am going to face life. And it's much safer and much easier than facing life here in the physical world, because you get out through your door every day or most of the days and you do not know what you're going to see and meet out there. It's the same thing. So what happens in a condition like this that causes you to receive those toxic energies is the fact that you backed up. You felt afraid, you felt intimidated. This sort of psychological feeling reduces our energy power. It's almost like it opens gaps in our energy field, and we will sense more and more the sort of uncomfortable thing that is around. But again, I just repeat, feeling things that are uncomfortable is normal. Don't feel intimidated. It doesn't mean you're going to feel comfortable. You are uncomfortable, yes. But you are not going to be afraid as if they could hurt you. Because when it happens, you reduce your lucidity and then You do not know what happened later. You may just end up exchanging more energies. Most people would just return to the body quickly with a surprise, with some sort of shock by the experience that makes it so much more difficult for them to leave the body in other new attempts when they apply techniques. It creates some sort of unconscious fear. So let's ponder about this before detaching from the body. That's why the best is if you know how the non-physical astral dimension operates, what are the mechanisms, so that you can, as I did, consider at the moment what to do. But please, you do not need to be afraid of leaving the body, because there is something that is called non-physical intuition. You are there and you get an intuition of what to do. If you keep cool, of course you are feeling the negative energies, but you are cool, you are examining. And then that gives you the right condition to balance the situation and fight against it in a way, because you will then resort to energy techniques. The number one technique would be velo, because if you are in an environment that is uncomfortable, that there are people there threatening you, get out, period. Get out of the environment. When you do velo, the velo technique, that you have videos teaching it here in the channel. If you do not know what it is, you are going to find plenty of explanations, and I will put a video here for you to watch. But if you do velo, you change dimension. So you end up getting out of that layer of the astral dimension you are in, together with the situation that is making you uncomfortable, and you go to a better condition, usually because you increase your vibrations. You change the connection that you are doing energetically. But if you are in your bedroom, let us think. You're going to do velo to escape from something that is in your bedroom? I was in a hotel room. But if you are in your bedroom and you meet someone who believes he or she, depends on what they look like, feel like the owner there and have plenty of space to get close to you in the middle of the night, to exchange energy with you, or to create some nightmares inside of you, or you wake up drained, isn't there something wrong there? So the best thing you have to do is, yes, leave the body, confront. Confront is not in a negative way. Confront is, hey, this is my space. I want my energies here. You have to do it so that you remove the energy field or pockets that are allowing that specific non-physical presence to stay there. And then you are going to have better and better nights of sleep, better and better out-of-body experiences. But in the case that you do meet someone there, close to your bedroom, or you are in a projection that even if you are farther from your house, but you feel somebody getting close with strange type of energy, you may also resort to the emission of energy. You kind of create a pulse of energy towards that consciousness, not in a belligerent way, not trying to put up a fight, but putting limits, showing that, yeah, you establish the limits there in an ethical way, but still you have to establish the limits. Otherwise, how can you be outside the body? With lucidity, with balance, enjoy your experience, learn and help others. All of these we can do in out-of-body experiences. So this case I told you was specifically to demystify the idea that, hey, I cannot see a frightening being, and those who know about energy and who knows about the out-of-body experience only have beautiful experiences with butterflies and spirit guides. It's not exactly like that. So that's what I wanted to illustrate. There's lots of videos here teaching you about the energy techniques. And the best is to learn about them to have productive out-of-body experience, but it's still so many times you have spontaneous ones. Go for it. I hope you enjoyed the video. It taught you something new. Please remember to give me a thumbs up if you did. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye. Thanks.